We're in the central coast of California. More specifically, we're in the AVA of Santa Barbara. More specifically than that, we are in the sub-AVA of Santa Ynez. So Santa Barbara is broken into two sections: Santa Maria in the north, Santa Ynez in the south. And then Santa Ynez is broken into two further sub-appellations: Santa Rita Hills in the west and Happy Canyon in the east. And what's really unique about this area, if you look over here, you can see that there's a mountain range here that's running east to west. And what that's doing is it's creating a funnel-like atmosphere and bringing in all the cool air and cool temperatures off the ocean. And what that does is it brings in the fog, it brings in a lot of the clouds and the moisture, and it keeps it very, very cool climate here. This is actually the coolest climate in California, more cool than even Sonoma or Carneros. So what does that mean? You have a cool climate. It means that there's two grape varieties that work very well here: Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Similar to when we were together in Burgundy, we talked about what were the two cool climate varieties there: Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. So what you find here are a lot of really wonderful fruit-driven, with wonderful acidity, Pinot Noirs and Chardonnay. And if you look over here over my shoulder, what you can see are these vineyards that are lined up on the hills. And as I've explained to you before, those are the best vineyards when they're on the hill. And why is that? Because when the rain comes down, it hits the sides of those hills and it runs down the side of the hill. So the vines that are up there have to work really hard to get their nutrients and their water. So the vines are up there, the water runs down to the base of the hill, and the vines have to work hard and dig deep into the earth, deep down, to get that water. What's also special about that area is that those are south-facing hills. And south-facing hills typically get the most sunlight. In an area like this, where you have a lot of fog influence and you have the cool winds, sun ripeness is really key. So here you have wonderful sun ripeness on south-facing slopes, and you also have something specific to this area, which is the soil. So let's look here for a second, and let's look at some of the soil we have here. If you remember, when we were together in France, the soil was very rocky and pebbly. Here, it's all sand. So what happens with a little bit of clay, mostly sand though, what happens is that the sand doesn't retain any kind of water at all. So the water comes down and it shoots right through the sand, which means these vines have to work even harder. Typically what happens is in the morning, starting around 5 a.m., those clouds roll in, the fog rolls in, and by 12 o'clock it's burned off. So from 12 o'clock until about 3:30, 4 o'clock, you have great sunlight in this area. Then the cool winds come in, and you still have the sun, but the cool winds come in, which cool down the grapes and don't allow them to ripen as much. And this results in a longer hang time, which means that the grapes are allowed to stay longer on the vine. And what's very interesting is that we're very, very south of Napa, Sonoma, and Carneros, but the vines here, the grapes bud earlier than up north, but they're picked even later than up north. So their window of harvest is a lot longer, which allows for more fruit concentration. In this environment, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir really thrive.